Welcome back, everyone, to the GSL July's Code A, the final match of the round of 32 here. We are going to have Slayer's BoxeR coming up against ASD Foyu.
The Emperor.
The Emperor himself.
Playing against a bunch of letters on the keyboard.
Yes. Interestingly enough, he actually used to be called, do you remember what I told you the name was before?
ASDF Foyu, or ASD Foyu, however you want to say that, used to be Nuclear Foyu.
Oh, you did remember. I'm impressed.
Of course. Nuclear got a lot of play in the GSTL the first season, I believe.
Yep.
And a decent player on the Foyu team. Foyu's struggling a little bit, but they actually had a really nice match in the GSTL last week against IM.
Yes. Very close match, too. I believe it went 4-3, if I can remember correctly.
But more importantly, Slayer's BoxeR actually got some play in the team league last week.
He did indeed.
BoxeR hasn't been doing too well in the GSL. He did get knocked down to Code A. Almost got knocked out, but he is...
But it's understandable to me anyway, because I do a lot of coaching on the side as well for Team FXO, and you cannot do playing and coaching and all the other stuff he does as well at the same time.
And being a celebrity.
And you just don't... The day needs to go for longer than 24 hours if you want to do all that stuff. So I believe he's also, you were saying earlier, that he also has an injury he's trying to work through.
Unfortunately, if anyone's seen the On BoxeR's Wings little mini-series that they're making in Korea, Team Liquid is actually doing a great job of translating that for you guys. It showed early on when he was playing in the first seasons of GSL, he was actually having some shoulder pain. And that actually prevented him from practicing a lot. And unfortunately, that's coming back. So it's very difficult for him to play more than a few games in succession. It's hard for him to prepare for these matches, but he's fighting through it like the Emperor that he is and doing very, very well.
He still does play extremely well. And here he is himself.
Slayer's BoxeR, the Terran player, he's been around in StarCraft since almost the beginning. If you ask anyone in Korea, do they know StarCraft? They're like, yeah, I know StarCraft. Do you know Imyo-wan? Yeah, I know Imyo-wan. Like, that's his actual name in Korea. The Koreans like to use actual names over IDs. But it's just, this guy is so ingrained into Korean culture. It's amazing. Really going to be interesting when we start seeing that more in the foreign scene.
He's really a genius when it comes to inventing new builds as well. Even when he came into StarCraft 2, you saw some really unique things coming out. And here's his opponent. He's going to be ASD Foyu, formerly Nuclear Foyu.
He's good at maintaining supply, very important in the Terran versus Terran match.
It's a good skill to have.
Yep. And it's also safe to get some supply depots.
But it is going to be a TBT, so we'll see how this one matches up.
And for you guys at home, a lot of these little descriptions of the players do come from the Korean. Some does get lost in translation. It is a little bit different, but
it's a direct translation of what we see from the Koreans.
Yeah. But I'm interested to see what the intros are here for Slayer's BoxeR and ASDF.
Yes.
They might just hold up a keyboard for ASDF.
That would be interesting. Oh no, they've done a good job so far with the intros. They've been pretty funny so far.
Yeah. Although the cute girls at
the Code S ones do take a care. They do. Of course, we do have the map pool coming up on screen now. Our first set is on, of course, Tal'Darim Altar, following up with Metalopolis, and then finally Xel'Naga Fortress. Xel'Naga Fortress, to me, needs more playtime. I really do enjoy that map.
It is one of the only 3-player maps that we are using in GSL right now. 3-player maps really change the dynamic a lot. We do see a lot of 2-player and 4-player maps, but the 3 really... It adds a new flavor that you can do a lot of different strategies with.
Especially the Xel'Naga tower that disappears.
Yes.
It's a very unique dynamic, and I want to see how that plays out. Yeah. I always look at a map and I go, what's it going to be like in 6-12 months' time?
And what's more interesting is Blizzard's done a really great job of creating a nice map editor. And with that map editor, you have a lot of power to do a lot of different things that you couldn't in Brood War. There were a lot of hacks that had to go into Brood War to give that new play style and the new dynamic that you really wanted to add. But in the StarCraft 2 map editor, it's just inherent in there. So moving on, we're going to start to see a lot of really interesting features. One that I would really like to see is Lava. If you play the single-player campaign,
oh yes, where it comes up every now and then,
burns all your SCVs, like you move your command center away. That would be interesting in Terran versus Terran when you set up those tank lines. Lava just burns one entire army.
And we're going straight into the game. Alright, here we go. We got far cross positions here for these guys. Down in the bottom right, we have our red Terran, known as the Emperor. He is known as
Slayer's BoxeR. 이수빈, 주먹이 싼 속도에 가야 되겠다.
I don't know the exact thing that he was saying there, but it does translate to my mouth makes no sound or something like that.
Yes, we'll get to that in a second. As soon as we get in the next intro, we'll explain that one. Now here at the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent, hailing from FOU. He has our blue Terran.
ASD for you.
Goes straight into his, like, scratching his eye. Yeah, so that intro for BoxeR, apparently there is a famous Korean movie where he actually does the boxing, and with the sound effects, he actually says these sounds are not coming from my mouth.
Yeah, implying that the sounds are coming from his fists since they are moving so quickly. Popular culture reference in Korea. I don't know. We're not quite Korean yet. I do eat a lot of kimchi, so I am getting there. Love kimchi. So we do already have a refinery coming down for ASD, normal timing for that, but we have no refinery for Slayer's BoxeR. Again, this is indicative of a faster expansion play.
Yep.
If you get that barracks out early, you do have enough Marines to defend and get your command center out.
What I like about BoxeR's plays, you never actually know what's coming.
That's true.
You can try all you want to try and predict it, but 9 times out of 10 you'll be completely wrong, because you'll have something new every game. Like we saw him in the GSL versus Slayers, he came out and actually proxy 2-raxed against Guinea Pig. Yep. Was of course a random player. Took that game down, then had a game against Dongregu. It did a lot better than people expected as well, given Dongregu's amazing ZVT. But we'll see how he goes in his TVT matchup. He has known about this match for over a week now, since the brackets came out. And
as you were saying, he is very hard to predict, and I actually predicted incorrectly. Sorry, guys. We have 2 refineries coming down here at the exact same time. He delayed his first refinery to give him a bit more minerals to get out those early Marines.
Yep.
But then he switches over to get 2 refineries very, very quickly, while ASD only has 1. So he will actually overcome the gas intake of ASD very, very soon.
But he's also throwing down a command center as well. So like I said...
So I wasn't completely wrong.
You were more right than wrong there. It's okay. That being said, though, we do see a reactor going down here for ASD's barracks, and a factory just finishing up here as well. So
that factory will be able to be switched over with the reactor if he wants to get a lot of Hellions out there.
Yep.
A lot of really strong Hellion play can give you map control, which is very important on a large
as we
map
saw in the very first map.
Yes.
For today.
Yes. Here we go.
We're going to see double Hellions.
Maybe.
There it is.
Okay.
Going back here to BoxeR's base, he's also getting a factory very quickly. He still has all of his gas mining, so we might be going further up the tech tree very quickly. He's got a bunker going down at his main, but he still has that command center. That's very interesting.
Yeah, and because you can float those command centers from the Terran player, you can get the early orbital command, or the early second orbital command, which gets you a lot of extra SCVs, but more importantly, it gets you a lot of extra mules. Those mules can help you increase your overall income intake from even 1 base. So while you're on 1 base and your opponent might be on 2, you can actually still have a higher income than them. Yeah,
the downside to a bunker, though, is the Hellions can run right past. There's only 4 Marines in there, no Marauders, as we do not have a tech lab on the barracks, of course. But we do have a starport and a tech lab now as well. And BoxeR going straight for a tank. I think he's trying to buy time, do something with that factory before that starport finishes up.
Yeah, and once that tank gets out, it is going to prevent these Hellions from doing much. They do very, very little damage to tanks. Tanks take them out. Not too many hits. So
ASD himself, though, is getting his... that SCV being taken out very quickly by the Hellions. 4 Hellions on the field. Scan going down in the main here for ASD FOU.
So he does see that the second command center is up.
But he does not see the starport.
He does not see the starport, but he does see the factory. And he does see the factory in a position that's in the back of your base. You really only want to do that if you're trying to hide what you're doing, or make your opponent think that you're hiding what you're doing.
Both players getting cloak.
And getting cloak at the exact same time.
Yeah. ASD does have his Banshee coming up first. Oh, he's actually... sorry.
He salvaged the bunker there, which very poor timing. The Hellions could have run by, but very nice concave from the Marines of Slayer's BoxeR, and that tank really scares those Hellions from running away.
It does.
Or 2 running away. Expansion also out for ASDF, so he's not going to be too far behind in the mineral intake. ASDF's, or ASD, how do you want to say that?
I'm going to call him ASD FOU.
ASD FOU? Alright. He's ASD FOU. He is going to get the Banshee out earlier. They're going to get cloaked at the exact same time, though, so they should be able to do the same amount of damage. Blue Flame Hellion coming out here for BoxeR. That's going to be really good once he does get the Hellions out. He's going to have a smaller count of Hellions, but his Hellions are going to do a lot more damage.
Oh, actually, did he just cancel?
He did just cancel it, and then he's rebuilding it.
Okay, then. Fair enough.
I don't know why he canceled that. Usually, if you are getting it and realize, oh shoot, I need that gas for something else, you'll cancel it, start the other thing, and then as soon as you get the gas again, you'll start it up.
Yep.
But he's not putting anything else in production, so I don't know. Maybe that was a mistake. Maybe he's just not sure
Interestingly enough, BoxeR does have that engineering bay, whereas ASD doesn't. Both these players are going for that Cloak Banshee, moving across the map. Those Blue Flame Hellions are going to hellbound here for BoxeR, but he's not getting Siege Mode just yet. He's going to get the Blue Flame first, whereas ASD's gone for the Siege Mode first.
He's not getting Siege Mode, and he's also Supply Block temporarily. He is building 2 Supply Divas at the same time, so it looks like maybe this build isn't exactly as practiced as he was hoping. Banshee coming in here for ASD Foyu. He's going to take down a few SCVs, but the turret starts to go up. However, BoxeR's Banshee is also coming into ASD Foyu's base, but there's no Tech Lab, or no turret going up at all. This is going to be very, very good for BoxeR if he can force this one Banshee to get away. He does get away with 2 hits. Banshee does go down for ASD Foyu. This is going to be really huge for BoxeR. The turret's going to get up. He's got a lot of Marines. He is going to be able to defend, but
he also lost his Banshee in the main here as well. He does have a second one on the way coming in from the right, and so does ASD Foyu.
Almost mirror play here, even though their opening builds were completely different. That's really interesting to see that you can do a different tech tree, which allows you to respond to different things, but then you end up at the same place later
Something I'm noticing here, though, as well, is the turret has actually gone up. It's actually going to get a lot of kill hits on this BoxeR's. Oh, one hit left.
Not trusting his CPU right there, and gets a lot more hits on the Banshee than he really needs to. These Marines with 1 scan will be able to take down this Banshee very quickly when they are ready to.
There we go, he's going to go for it now. The Banshee does get 3 kills, almost 4. Oh, gets him away, actually. Nicely done. No, he doesn't. Again.
Almost getting away.
But something I have noticed, I just wanted to bring up, that ASD has all 4 watchtowers. So his Banshee can actually get across there a lot quicker. BoxeR forced to go around the outside. We do have a Viking coming in to clear out this Banshee now, though.
And the starport of BoxeR is just floating in the air. In the alpha, you could actually produce units from a floating starport. That would be pretty interesting to float your starport over to your opponent's base and then start making units right there.
Just hiding in the corner.
That's not how the game is right now. A Viking chasing the Banshee across. His Banshee only has 13 energy left. That's ticking down very, very quickly. As soon as it's done, BoxeR will be able to kill the Banshee quite easily. But 2 Vikings here are going to defend their friends.
Almost killing him, backing him up though. He actually does have a 20 supply lead at the moment. Looking at the SCVs, 10 of that is in workers.
That's very, very good for ASD.
His Banshee's doing a little bit more efficiently than BoxeR's at the moment. We've got a sensor tower going down as well to stop any more drops or Banshees coming through to just frustrate ASD. You see a lot more sensor tower use these days than you used to, and I really like the aspect of that.
It's because early on, people were getting the sensor towers. They weren't exactly sure how to use them. Same thing with scouting. Like, everyone in the beginning of the game was just like, all right, I'm going to play it like I played Brood War. Scout early, scout constantly. But now that the game's being figured out a little bit more, the tells of certain builds are a lot easier to see for these pro players that play against them constantly. So you don't need to send that first SCV. There's very few things that you're going to need to divert your build on, and you can scout them in other ways. And as you were saying, the sensor towers, though, like, you don't need to scout early, but getting those sensor towers later are a lot more effective.
So we do have quite a few Hellions coming out into the middle of the map here for BoxeR. He's going to try and clear out all of these. There's one Hellion just hiding behind the tree. There we go. He does see it. But he also gives away Blue Flame.
He does, and he does roast that tree there. It hurts the environment a little bit, but he is going to go back and take control of these sensor towers. The early sensor tower control, like you were saying before, gave ASD the ability to get his Banshees across the field quickly. But now BoxeR is going to retake the sensor tower control and allow his strong mech play from 3 factories to be able to move across the map very quickly.
Yeah, so we do have a drop by BoxeR, but we also have a Banshee coming around here on the right-hand side for ASD Foyu as well. And looks like he's going to try and avoid all of this. Does the Marine see the drop? It does not. Doesn't even see the Hellions coming through.
But there are 2 Vikings here.
But he has actually seen him just move straight into the... So many Marines being roasted by all these Blue Flames. All the Marines clumped up. Do get quite a few of these Hellions, but unfortunately will force them up. Gets that dropship as well. Nice choice by ASD Foyu, lifting up all those units. The Vikings were patrolling there.
Banshee in position to be able to scout this, the rocks being taken down from BoxeR. That will give him the ability to know exactly when BoxeR is expanding to his 3rd. BoxeR getting, ASDF OU, ASD Foyu, getting a ton of upgrades here. He's getting combat shield in addition to +1 armor for his bio units and concussive shell for his marauders. When he does get those bio upgrades up, he will have a very strong mobile force against BoxeR's very strong static force. Mech armies are extremely efficient once you get enough of them, but they aren't very maneuverable at all.
No. But we have seen, especially in the first set today, oh, there goes this Banshee going to work on that third, takes out the SCV building that, just wants to delay it as long as possible. He's also taking out his own rocks to take a third there as well.
And very nice patrol here from those Vikings. If he didn't have those, that first drop from BoxeR with those 4 Blue Flame Hellions would have done a ton of damage. But just keeping those 2 Vikings on the one side where your sensor tower isn't can really help you change the game.
Absolutely. So we do have ASD Foyu moving out here. He still does control half of these Xel'Naga towers in the middle of the map. BoxeR owns the other 2. Actually, both players moving out at the moment.
A lot of Marauders, a lot of tanks for ASD Foyu. If they get in an engagement where neither player is sieged up, it's going to favor ASD Foyu. But if BoxeR just does a slow push with all of his tanks here, he will be able to zone out Foyu's army.
He will. Both these guys just jockeying for position in the middle of the map. At the moment, ASD Foyu's expansion is up slightly quicker than BoxeR's. There goes the engagement with a couple of these Hellions going forward. There are Marauders in the mix here, though, for ASD Foyu. That's going to help out. There's a lot of tanks on BoxeR's side, though. Yeah,
a lot of tanks, and those tanks take a ton of damage from the tanks of ASD Foyu and the Marauders as well. So these Hellions that are out for BoxeR aren't the best in a straight-up engagement, but if he is careful, he can keep them alive and use them for a lot of counterattacks and
just looking here on the left, both of these guys can see each other. There's a Marine and a Hellion sitting on the left, just sitting there going, what's going on?
Yeah. I don't want to burn, but I don't want to kill you either.
All right, so
BoxeR dropping down a few more barracks here. He does know he needs to get a lot more Marines in play. There's only Marauders and tank. Well, excuse me, there are some Marines, but not a ton of Marines for ASD Foyu. So if BoxeR can get out a lot of Marines, he can actually turn the tide of this army quite easily. Looks like ASD Foyu is going to start the engagement. Doesn't want to do it quite yet. He's going to run away from the tanks.
There's just so many tanks. As soon as he sieges up, there's nothing he can do about it. He's just trying to stay out of range, trying to abuse the fact that BoxeR isn't as mobile, and he's actually going to force the lift on that command center. He's going to do a lot of damage, getting a lot of damage on these Blue Flame Hellions as well. Looks like he's lifting a lot of his units up here at the moment.
And Foyu is smartly going to grab some of his army and send it to the main while running away with the rest of it. It's a really nice position. He prevented the third from mining for a little while, and he's going to drop in and take out a lot of his supply depots. 2 Vikings coming out here for BoxeR, so these guys are going to be on a one-way mission.
There's all Marauders here, except for 2 Marines. By the looks of it, he's going to get quite a few tanks coming through. The tanks are on siege. Does clean up that drop. All these guys are on red health.
BoxeR did pull a little too many units here, though, so he does not have anything at his third. But ASD Foyu is going to prevent it from dropping for a little while
He's just going to sit under there, getting a lot of these SCVs as well. BoxeR forced to pull back all his units. Can't hit the command center, but still going to do a lot of damage. If he can stim and focus down some of these tanks, he's going to make a nice trade-off. There we go. No, he's just going to sit him on hold position by the looks. There we go. There's the stim. Going to take out as many tanks as he can. Doesn't get many at all, but he has taken a 40 supply lead with that engagement.
And he did just throw down a scan there to see exactly what units were in the mix. ASD Foyu knowing that he can pick up a lot of his units in 3 medevacs and move down to the bottom left of BoxeR's base. Try to take down some of the production buildings that he's got going on.
But BoxeR did see those dropships coming through on the left-hand side. You can see the Vikings are moved into position. There are 3 full medevacs full of units here.
But the Vikings are going to scout it. They might be able to take down the first medevac without it dropping too many units here. Half the units get taken out. However, there's a nice carpet going down of these units. But BoxeR is in position to be able to prevent any serious damage from this drop.
Yeah, these units are now trapped here. They're going to have to go forward against, and these actual siege tanks are a little bit too far out of the way. The Marauder heavy army is going to deal very well with these Hellions, going to do a lot of damage, trying to take down one of these barracks as well, but still cornered in there.
Does take down one barracks, maybe? No, wow. No damage at all to BoxeR's economy. That wasn't the best drop for ASD Foyu. He needed to really focus on a single building instead of spreading the damage around.
But he is keeping BoxeR in his base, though. BoxeR's now only just coming out, going to go on the offensive. ASD is actually maxed out.
Yep, and he was sending his 4th command center over to another base on the left side, but he isn't quite sure about that, so he is actually going to fly home with it.
I think he's just worried about this attack. There's a lot of tanks in this mix here for BoxeR. Yeah. But he is 30 harvesters down. Pretty much the entire supply difference right now is workers.
And that's actually not a position you want to be in as ASD. You are going to get in a lot of money. As you can see, he's got 1,500 minerals stocked up, but he can't really spend that since he's maxed out. So what he really needs to do is he needs to drop more command centers and focus more on mules. Mules do not cost any supply, yet they still mine faster than the SCVs. And you can then take those SCVs to scout, to fight, just to absorb some hits if you want to. maybe have them dance in the fight to make their opponent a little more worried and think he's further behind. But we do have a slight engagement over at the right side of the base. ASD had a scouting factory there, preventing BoxeR from setting up a fourth.
Just something I'm noticing here as well, ASD is currently on 2-2 upgrades for his bio, and when we look at BoxeR, he's only at 0-1.
Ooh.
When we're looking at the mech as well, BoxeR also on 0-0, but it's just pure Marine Marauder coming out here from ASD. He's got a couple of tanks at home just as a defensive line, and using the rest to just constantly outmaneuver BoxeR's army. And there's 5 or 6 SCVs that didn't want to live anymore. I would quite honestly say he's just trying to clean up supply.
And this is a lot of tanks out here for BoxeR. The issue is if he does lose any of these tanks, they are very hard to replenish.
Yep.
And as you were saying, the upgrades for the bio for ASD FOU are way ahead. It's almost going to be on 3-3. Once that happens, these bio units are going to be very, very scary, and you can replenish them extremely fast, and they're also extremely mobile. So ASD FOU looking like he could be in a very good position, but it is this very...
I really like what he's doing here. He's baiting the units forward. BoxeR trying to get him in a pincer movement here. Moving forward, taking out these tanks one by one. There's only 3 factories at home here for BoxeR. He is evening up the supply, but he lost a lot of tanks.
Yeah, and those tanks are the key unit in his army right now. This might trigger him to go for a counterattack or just try to get a nice soft contain on ASD FOU. But
that
ASD FOU is going to have none of that.
He has 11 Raxes at the moment.
11 racks.
You have 11 racks.
That's going to replenish his army extremely quickly.
Freeing up more supply of his workers there, but he's actually now dropped below BoxeR in supply. He has got this more mobile force in the middle of the map. He's going to lose his 4th base here on the left as BoxeR does see it coming in. It looks like ASD is going to completely ignore it, go straight to the natural here. There is purely Marines and 1 tank defending.
And just as 3-3 finishes, he is ready to start an engagement at BoxeR's main. He is also going to set up his reinforcements to be able to defend his 3rd. But this is not a large force. It's really not what ASD FOU wants to be doing right now. This is really good for BoxeR. If he can get these tanks positioned that he can hit the 3rd base of ASD FOU, he's going to do a lot of damage.
Yeah, we do have that 4th base being dropped again, but the BoxeR wisely kept 2 Blue Flame Hellions, getting a lot of SCV kills. These tanks are now sieged at his 3rd. Going to force ASD FOU to back off with that. He's trying to come back with his forces, but he does have a lot of tanks in that mix as well.
Yeah, ASD FOU had brought his initial defenses of his main to go try to do a counterattack, but he didn't actually do anything, so it's a complete waste.
And now that these siege tanks are all actually in siege mode, now it's going to be difficult for ASD FOU to actually come in here and dislodge them.
But he is going to do a pincer attack right here. He's bringing his 1st army from the bottom while he brings his 2nd army of reinforcements from the top. He is going to be able to clean this up quite nicely. Oh, actually, no, he's not. What?
No, I'm kind of surprised that he was actually winning that fight. If he just brought his tanks in from the bottom, he would have been able to clean out those last 4 remaining tanks there for BoxeR. BoxeR coming across with a lot of Marines and a lot of tanks through the middle. He is still at 200 supply, and ASD FOU has actually dropped to 140. He's going to be difficult. He does have a couple of tanks, but these mass Marines here are really going to favor BoxeR. Now taking out a couple of tanks up near the top. ASD trying to pick off as many tanks as he can, but he's now actually in a very bad spot.
Yeah, he was really far ahead with those upgrades. He had a lot of production going on, but he split up his army and he didn't commit to that engagement. He only sent half of his force in at a time. That got wiped out quite easily by BoxeR, and it's really going to be favoring BoxeR right now. However, if ASD FOU can hold on for a little longer, his upgrades are going to help him, especially in this battle right now. The tanks get melted. The tanks of ASD FOU are going to be able to push back BoxeR's bio force. Some of these medevacs are not going to go down. He stims and backs off.
Wise choice there by BoxeR, realizing there's a very Marauder-heavy force, backs off, does see a couple of these units poised here at the position where BoxeR might take his 5th base. We also got Dander in the bottom left, a Hellion going to work on this orbital command. It's going to take a while, but he'll get there in the end.
Yeah, really nice use of these Blue Flame Hellions by BoxeR. He is able to just constantly scout the map, make sure that no hidden expansions are going up for ASD FOU.
But notice here, there's only 1 mining base for ASD right now, and that is in the 12 o'clock position. And we do have 2 dropships.
And there's no forces at all.
There's no forces at all here. It's not an orbital command yet. We do have BoxeR moving forward in the middle as well.
BoxeR's drop is actually going to skirt around the expansion. He's not even going to scout it.
He actually doesn't know it's even there at the moment.
Oh, a little bit of a mistake there. He's trying to go in for some more tech damage right now. Not really what he needs to be doing. If he can starve ASD FOU, he can slowly get back into the game.
Well, right now, ASD doesn't really have the income he really wants. And this drop is actually doing a lot of damage. He's actually coming through in the middle of the map as well. BoxeR lifting up And there's so many tanks here for BoxeR, and ASD is really trying to catch back up with that. The drop is still going on. He's taking out a lot of production. Oh, a lot of SCVs being taken out because they are distance mining to that third base.
A tank comes out, but it is going to die very, very quickly without doing any damage. ASD Foyu is going to be forced to pull back a lot of units and clean this up.
Yep. He still does have the upgrades, but BoxeR now at 1-1, still ignoring a lot of the upgrades. He's going to get this orbital command. Does go down. At the same time, ASD is trying to get another base up and running over here on the right, but BoxeR is just pincering him in here. These tanks are still over here on the left, not allowing him to take that third base again. BoxeR now has both of these far right-hand corner expansions. He's also seized this command center lying around in the middle, and BoxeR is just everywhere right now.
And ASD Foyu's command center at the 12 o'clock base isn't turned into either an orbital command or a planetary fortress yet. It looks like he's not quite sure where he wants to go with that. He does have a lot of orbital commands, so he is okay, and he is forcing the orbital command of BoxeR to run away temporarily until the reinforcements come and clean this up.
Yeah, so both these guys all over the map with a lot of drops, just constantly being in each other's face. BoxeR only has one mining base at the moment. If he can get this fourth base up and running, it's going to be a good spot. We do see ASD Foyu moving through the middle of the map. This is just an orbital command in the middle of the map. He doesn't know where to go. So I can't
He is
safe.
orbiting the map right now in a very commanding fashion. So BoxeR is positioned at the Xel'Naga Tower. He does have the vision that he needs, cutting off half the map. He's feeling very confident that he has the economic.
Oh, sorry to cut you off here, but we have a drop with 4 Marauders coming down here to the 3 o'clock base here for BoxeR. Yet again, losing more SCVs, not focusing down the audible command just yet. Both these guys in the middle are sieging up, trying to get a good position on him. And ASD backing off when there's nothing actually chasing him.
Scared of a shadow. Yeah. This is really nice for ASD Foyu, though. He is getting the drops, keeping BoxeR only on a few bases right now. It also is allowing him to continue mining at the 12 o'clock, in addition to getting the right main, or the right natural base of the other spawning position.
Yep.
But BoxeR is going to finally go in here. However, there is a little task force by ASD Foyu. He is going to be able to take down the medevac very, very quickly and then take out the remaining Marines without any problem. Very nice positioning by ASD Foyu. It's great to leave that small force there to defend your natural against an opposing drop.
BoxeR's still behind on the upgrades, though. I think he's realizing it's starting to hurt him. Now getting +2 for both armor and attack. He's still having issues with these Marauders up on the cliff here, being constant danger to the 3 o'clock base. They're both really scared to actually get a bad position in the middle, because this is their main forces. Both of them don't have that much income at the moment. They're down to 2 bases, and oh, here we go. No, almost.
Almost. Very scared to have an actual engagement. They have a lot of small scuffles around the map.
I think they believe that whoever loses that main engagement will lose the game.
And it is very true. Yeah, if you lose your main tank force and you can't replenish it, you can't reinforce it with the 3/3 bio units.
Yep.
It's really hard to come back for something like that.
BoxeR is actually mining out at his 3rd natural here at the moment. He's also got those Marauders at the top, and this army for BoxeR in the middle looks so much more deadly.
Yeah, it is a lot better than it was 5 minutes ago in this game. BoxeR almost up to the full upgrades for his bio units. He's also getting +2 on his tanks. Yep. Which +2 on tanks.
Interestingly enough here, BoxeR only has 40 SCVs to the 24 of ASD Foyu. Looks like we're going to have a stim here. And oh, a lot of those Marines getting a little bit too far forward for BoxeR. Both being very careful about where they actually engage. BoxeR still has these tanks over on the left-hand side. They haven't moved for like 10 minutes. And oh, he's actually going to get the command center on the right-hand side. Nice move by ASD. But BoxeR has taken the 6 o'clock base now.
It was a very back-and-forth game. ASD Foyu looked like he was ahead early on with the strong bio upgrades, but BoxeR's been doing a really good job of splitting his attention, taking off some of those forces without letting him build up a huge army. Also, ASD Foyu's transitioned into using mules a lot, like I was talking about earlier in the game. He only has 26 actual SCVs. But hold that thought.
Oh, here we go, BoxeR a little bit too close of the tanks. He's sieged up late, and there's all these Marines coming through. Oh, this is what we were talking about. Disastrous encounter here for BoxeR.
Wow, that's a huge win for ASD Foyu. The upgrades for BoxeR aren't quite finished yet, and that really showed a decisive win in that battle. But there was a drop going on at the same time. I'm not sure how much damage it actually did. Not a whole lot, since there's not a whole lot of mining left in that base. BoxeR is forced to be only mining from the one bottom position. He's only got Marines left in this fight.
Yeah, he is 70 supply down, so we're talking about that one bad engagement. Neither one of them wanted to do it. Unfortunately for BoxeR, he sieged up a little bit too late and was too close. And He does have that one mining base down at the 6 o'clock position left, but ASD Foyu moving across the map now. This could smell the end for BoxeR in this game.
Yeah, ASD Foyu doesn't know that there are no tanks in this battle. All of BoxeR's tanks are actually in the upper left right now, except for that one remaining thing. If ASD Foyu puts on a scan, sees how small this army is, sees that there aren't the upgrades for the bio.
Oh, another drop has actually stopped the only mining base for BoxeR now. And at the same time, looks like ASD Foyu is coming in up that ramp, goes straight for that tank. No tanks left, only Marines. The siege tanks actually siege. All the SCVs being called as well. The Marines are gone. All these tanks unsieging so they don't kill each other with the SCVs mining around them. And now it is going to be an A move into the main here for BoxeR. GG.
Wow. That was one of the most back and forth TVTs that I have seen so far in StarCraft 2.
And that one thing changed that whole game.
SD Foyu feeling really confident now for the next map, which will be Metalopolis. Choyu going in there, giving a few words of encouragement.
And same for Sella going in to talk to BoxeR.
BoxeR looking stone-faced. Not happy with how that went.
Well, BoxeR is very seasoned. He knows exactly. He doesn't even have to look at that Reaper. He knows exactly what went wrong in that.
Yeah. Very unfortunate. He did get behind in the upgrades early on. ASD Foyu didn't completely capitalize on it early on, but it did allow him to get that large force to be able to win that one key fight later on. The drops constantly going on, forcing BoxeR to not mine at all the bases that he really wanted to, also helped really change the game.
Yeah, well, nearing the end there, they were both dropping each other. They were both trying to swap bases, trying to find somewhere that they could actually mine, and it just came down to they didn't have the resources to actually replenish their army, and both of them knew that.
Yeah, but because BoxeR was more dependent on that mech force, once that battle happens, it's a lot easier for the Bioforce to reinforce.
Yeah.
And then because of that, you just have one battle, you both lose your army, the other army replenishes quickly where there's only a little bit, and you just go for that second counterattack and win the game.
Yeah. So it was a very close game. Like, no doubt that BoxeR has put a little bit of doubt in ASD Foyu's mind as well. So it's definitely not a one-sided game. We're going to go into game 2 very shortly. It's going to be on Metalopolis. See if BoxeR can bring it back, because of course this is the round of 32 of Code A. Loser will fall to Code B.
Yep. And Metalopolis for TVT, it seems like a large map at first, but when you look at it, there's really only that one.
There's two ways
small
through.
chokes on the grounds. And then the air is critical early on, but once you get out the key Vikings, you get out the sensor towers, it really shuts down the drop play for later in the game.
Absolutely. So, I don't know, this is going to be an intense second game. I almost ran out of breath. I got lightheaded during that first one. There's too much things going on.
Maybe we'll see some nukes this game? Maybe?
I hope so.
You can actually nuke the mineral line of the main from the low ground, so
that is true.
There are some rush strategies that you can employ in TVT.
If anyone's going to use it, it's going to be BoxeR as well.
That is true. That's true. BoxeR, the king of nukes in StarCraft 1, he actually had the nickname Kim...
a mental blanking.
Yeah, the leader of North Korea. Something.
It's something.
Yeah. Because he used so many nukes in StarCraft 1, he got that nickname.
Exactly. So the map is now loading for game 2.
Metalopolis.
Metalopolis is going to be... Will BoxeR be able to edge it out and go to game 3?
Of course he will.
Of course he will.
Yeah.
We'll see. Or will ASD knock BoxeR into Code B? And a lot of hate for that one.
That would be very bad. Definitely be a next step in the game.